Do you ever feel like the world is spinning faster than you can breathe? One crisis after another. Non-stop notifications. And an endless to-do list. We chase success. Stay busy. Scroll endlessly. But at night, when everything quiets down, do you feel peace? What if peace isn't something we find out there, but something we uncover within? Welcome to Buddhist Teachings for Life. We're glad you're here. And today, we'll explore how ancient Buddhist wisdom offers a path to deep inner peace. Right in the middle of our chaotic modern world, Buddhism doesn't ask us to run away from life. It invites us to wake up within life. Whether you're overwhelmed with work, grieving a loss, or just tired of the noise, this video is for you. We'll explore how suffering can become a teacher, how mindfulness can reshape your mind, and how letting go can open the door to true freedom. No religion required, just an open heart, and a few quiet breaths. So take a moment, inhale, exhale, and let's begin. The world we live in, it's chaotic, unpredictable, and often overwhelming. The Buddha taught that life is impermanent. Things are constantly changing, slipping away, or falling apart. And it's this impermanence that often causes us to suffer. We chase after stability, security, success, and happiness. We believe that if we get the right job, the perfect relationship, or the ideal life circumstances, we'll be happy. But the reality is that these things are always in flux. Nothing stays the same for long. The Buddha didn't see this as something negative. Instead, he encouraged us to embrace this impermanence because it's the very nature of life. This is what he called dukkha, or suffering. Dukkha doesn't just refer to physical pain, but also the subtle dissatisfaction we feel when things aren't as we want them to be. Whether it's a small inconvenience or a major crisis, it's the same feeling of frustration. We grasp onto things, expecting them to last forever, but they don't. For example, think about your last vacation. You were probably looking forward to it for months, planning every detail. And while you were there, you felt happy, until it was over. Now, that joy feels like a distant memory. It's the same with any desire we chase. No matter how much we get, there's always the inevitable end. This is the nature of the world. But instead of seeing this as a source of pain, we can learn to live with it. The more we accept the nature of impermanence, the less we will suffer from it. The key is to stop clinging to what can't be held. So, where do we find peace? The Buddha's answer is clear. True peace doesn't come from external circumstances. It doesn't come from the perfect job, the ideal relationship, or the perfect home. Peace comes from within. The Buddha taught that our minds are like a turbulent ocean, constantly disturbed by waves of desire, fear, and attachment. But underneath those waves is a stillness, a calmness that is always there. Our task is to reconnect with that stillness. This means understanding that our mind is the source of our happiness and suffering. If we are constantly chasing external things to make us happy, we will never be satisfied. No matter how much we acquire, there will always be more to desire. True peace comes when we stop identifying with the constant chatter of the mind. When we stop chasing fleeting pleasures and start tuning into the present moment, we discover a profound sense of peace. This peace is not a result of external conditions, it is a natural state that arises when we let go of attachment and simply be. A story that illustrates this is of a businessman who was constantly running after success. He worked long hours, sacrificed his health, and neglected his relationships. One day, he found himself at the top of his career, but he felt emptier than ever. Realizing he had been chasing the wrong things, he turned to mindfulness practice. Over time, he learned to reconnect with the present moment, finding peace in the simple act of breathing and being present with others. But what about the suffering we experience? We all face pain in life. Whether it's emotional or physical, loss, failure, heartbreak, anxiety. These are all part of being human. The Buddha didn't teach that suffering can be avoided. Instead, He taught us to understand the nature of suffering and how to transcend it. Suffering is not inherently bad. It is a natural part of life. But what we do with that suffering is what matters. The Buddha identified 3 root causes of suffering: attachment, aversion, and ignorance. We suffer when we attach ourselves to things that are fleeting, when we resist what is, and when we misunderstand the nature of reality. Let's take attachment. We cling to people, possessions, and ideas, believing they will make us happy. But when these things inevitably change or disappear, we are left feeling devastated. The key is to understand that nothing is permanent. When we stop grasping, we can experience freedom from suffering. For example, consider a woman who has lost a loved one. Her grief is deep, and at first, it feels like an overwhelming burden. But as she learns to accept her feelings without judgment, she starts to understand that her pain is part of her healing process. Instead of resisting the grief, she allows herself to feel it fully. In doing so, she begins to find peace in the midst of her loss. Suffering, when embraced with wisdom and acceptance, becomes a path to deeper understanding. It is through our struggles that we can learn the most about ourselves and our relationship with the world. So, how can we incorporate mindfulness into our everyday lives? The good news is that mindfulness is not just something you do on a meditation cushion. It's something you can practice in every moment. Even while you're driving to work or washing dishes. Mindfulness means being fully present, without judgment, in whatever you're doing. When you're walking down the street, can you notice the feel of the ground beneath your feet? When you're eating, can you taste each bite without rushing? It's about paying attention to the small details of life. Mindfulness helps us slow down, take a breath, and be aware of what's happening in the present moment, without getting lost in the past or the future. One powerful practice is the body scan, where you mentally scan each part of your body, noticing any tension or discomfort. This practice brings your attention back to the present and helps release stress. You can also practice mindfulness while eating, by savoring each bite and noticing the textures and flavors of your food. This simple act can help you develop a deeper appreciation for life and the moment you're in. Even when you're feeling stressed, you can practice mindfulness by simply pausing and taking a few deep breaths. The more you bring awareness to the present moment, the less control the stress will have over you. One of the most important teachings in Buddhism is the concept of letting go. We all spend so much time and energy holding on to things. Our beliefs, our identities, our possessions, and our expectations. But the more we hold on, the more we suffer. Letting go isn't about giving up. It's about freeing ourselves from the grip of attachment. It's about realizing that we don't need to control everything to be happy. The act of letting go can be challenging, especially when we've spent years clinging to something. But the moment we release that tight grip, we experience a profound sense of relief. For example, consider someone who has been working at a job they hate for years. They fear the unknown, so they stay in the same place, even though it brings them no joy. But when they finally let go of their fear and take a leap into something new, they feel an overwhelming sense of freedom. Letting go means trusting that life will unfold as it's meant to, without our constant interference. It's about learning to flow with life, rather than resisting it. True peace isn't just about inner stillness. It's also about how we interact with the world around us. Compassion is the heart of the Buddhist path. It's the practice of loving kindness towards ourselves and others. The Buddha taught that compassion is essential for overcoming suffering. When we feel compassion for others, we connect with them in a way that transcends the barriers of judgment, anger, or fear. Compassion isn't just about doing good deeds. It's about cultivating a mindset of care and understanding. It's about being present for others, especially when they are suffering. For example, a woman might be struggling with a difficult situation at work. Instead of judging her or trying to fix her problems, a compassionate friend listens with an open heart, offering support without advice or judgment. This act of listening deeply is an expression of compassion. Compassion also starts with ourselves. We often treat ourselves with harshness or criticism, especially when we make mistakes. But if we can learn to be gentle and kind with ourselves, we create the foundation for a peaceful mind. When we practice compassion, we heal not only ourselves but also the world around us. So, how can we make mindfulness and compassion a part of our daily lives? The key is to create a spiritual practice that fits with your life. It doesn't have to be a huge time commitment, but it does require consistency. You can start each day with a few minutes of meditation, where you simply sit quietly, focusing on your breath. This helps calm your mind and set a peaceful tone for the rest of the day. You can also practice gratitude by reflecting on the things you are thankful for. Whether it's your health, your family, or a beautiful sunset. As you move through your day, try to bring mindfulness into every action, from the way you walk to the way you speak. Each moment is an opportunity to practice peace. Over time, these small practices will help you build a foundation of peace and awareness that supports you through the ups and downs of life. Living peacefully doesn't mean avoiding the challenges of life. It means embracing them with a calm and open heart. The true test of mindfulness is not how we behave when everything is calm, but how we respond when life is challenging. When we practice mindfulness, we learn to approach life with a sense of balance. We can be present, even in the midst of chaos. Life will always have its struggles, but with mindfulness and compassion, we can move through them with peace in our hearts. It's not about being perfect. It's about showing up with presence, kindness, and understanding. When we live this way, we begin to shift the energy around us, creating a ripple effect of peace that extends to others.